Hello everybody, we are back with another What I Eat in a Day as a Fat Person video, and the only difference for today is that my cat is on the desk and he is purring his little heart out, so if you can hear him in the background, I do apologise. He's a very friendly boy. But anyway, we're going to get back into the reaction and we're going to start with Diamond.
Hi guys, welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day. Remember, I'm fat and I don't eat healthy. Today for McDonald's, I went for breakfast and I ordered myself a sausage, egg, and cheese burrito.
So in the last video we saw that Diamond was on a weight loss journey and that she was on a GLP-1, so I don't know whether this was filmed before that or if she's just using this intro, but irrespective of that, having McDonald's for breakfast, as we've said previously, is never a good idea. Again, takeout for breakfast is not the best unless you really are in a pinch and can't get anything else. But it didn't look horrendous in that it was eggs and sausage, but it's not going to be the best eggs, and it's certainly not going to be the best sausage in the world. There are worse options, but again, there are so many better options, and it's expensive as well. So it's not very good for you. It's expensive, and it won't fill you up either. So it's not great, but I think that's quite common in these videos to have fast food for breakfast, which is a really big shame.
This was my first time trying this and I would give it like a 6 out of 10. I feel like the filling's really good, but the tortilla's a little white.
That coffee, and I say coffee in inverted commas because it looks more like a milkshake, to be honest, and even if there is a kind of like a little bit of coffee in there, it's going to be mostly sugar. So we'll see what it is, but I'm not hopeful that it's any good for her, so we'll just see.
For me, I also ordered myself a large French vanilla iced coffee with extra ice, extra creamer, add whipped cream, and add a caramel drizzle.
So I was right. That's going to be no good for you whatsoever. I have no idea how many calories would be in that, but I would not be surprised at all if it was like 500. That was a massive cup and just full of sugar. Having the coffee in there, I think, is more of a courtesy than anything else. But that was crazy. Definitely not the best way to start your day at all. It was like having, again, dessert for breakfast. But, oh well, let's see what she has for lunch.
For lunch, I brought leftovers from last night's dinner, which was some grilled chicken with some mashed potatoes and some string beans. Or today,
that's a pretty good lunch as it goes. There's no harm in having like dinner foods for lunch, and as I've said previously, I tend to have dinner foods for breakfast. I really enjoy jacket potatoes for breakfast. It really fills me up and sets me up for my day of work and stuff like that. So it's very common for me to do that personally. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So having mashed potatoes with a protein source and beans is really good. So there's no harm in that whatsoever. The only question I would have would be, how were the mashed potatoes made? Were they made with like cream and butter, or was it just a little bit of milk? Was it like instant potato? Obviously she doesn't go into this, but I would be curious to know that as well. And I'm also curious if she bought it somewhere, if it's like takeout food or restaurant food, but again, we're not going to know. So either way, it's pretty good for a lunch, so much better than her breakfast.
Today's question of the day, I was going to ask y'all what y'all's favorite way to have a potato is, you know, because
jack potato,
there's so many ways to have a potato. There's fries, there's curly fries, there's tater tots, there's mashed potatoes.
All of those except the mash were basically fried potatoes, and then it's not good for you at all. It's delicious, but it's not any good for you, unfortunately.
Etc. But I feel like I'm always asking y'all what y'all's favorite thing is. So let's go ahead and switch that up if you're really listening to this video right now.
I don't know what this is because she's still talking about whatever, but that is just deep fried chicken by the looks of things, and takeout again. So this is takeout for the second time in a day. And that is the thing with Diamond that she does a lot. She tends to eat out like every single meal near enough, and the impact on her bank account must be insane, and it's no good for her body either, so it's just kind of negative all around. But let's just see what she's talking about.
Now do me a favor, go to the comments and let me know one food that you do not like
red meat.
The food that you would not eat if it was offered to you.
Steak. I really dislike steak. I don't like it at all.
Food you would never pay money for. Food that might even possibly give you the ick. Anyways, tonight for dinner I am having some wing daddies. I'm having 2 sleaze balls, which are basically just like fried balls of loaded mashed potatoes, and 2
So she's having more potatoes and they're fried, which is no good. There's nothing inherently wrong with potatoes, so I think a white potato is like 100 calories for 100 grams, give or take, which is really good, and they're a really decent source of carbs, and if you're going to go and do some exercise, it's fantastic. I used to have, before a really long gym session, I used to have a potato with salady things and some chicken, and that used to really fuel my workouts, and my workouts used to be really crazy long at one point, like 3 hours. So that was something really good for me and how it worked for me. But I would never deep fry or fry a potato, like a mashed potato ball. I think that's a bit excessive. And so she's had fried potato and then fried chicken, or deep fried chicken, or whatever it is. So it's like fried stuff, so it's going to be covered in oil and not very healthy carbs. It's not a great choice, and that tied with her bad breakfast is just not a good day, in my opinion. Obviously, it's like high in protein and stuff, but it's not the best protein that she could have chosen, which is, yeah, unfortunate, but it's her choice.
Cilantro lime chicken tenders. But yeah, that is everything I had for the day. Like I always tell y'all, that's enough about me. What did you eat today? Let me know in the comments. Bye.
Yeah.
This is what I eat in a day as a fat girl who is literally just trying to exist. I
always find that so odd when they say that. I'm just trying to exist. It's like, babe, we're all doing that. Everybody is just existing and living their life and doing their own thing. It's what we're all doing. So I don't know why they say it. And I don't think it's necessarily the phrase that they're saying. I think it's the tone in which they're saying it. I'm just trying to exist, okay? Like, all right, fair enough.
I like to start my morning with a decaf coffee, which I know seems kind of counterintuitive, but I promise you I still get something out of it. I typically just go with the Tim Horton brand because it's just the cheapest. Everything else is like $15 for 10 cups. And
I've never had Tim Hortons, and I don't know what those little instant cup things contain, but it does look like a straight black coffee, which is really good. So I would be curious if it has any like added sweetness to it that kind of make it taste a little bit better than most people think coffee tastes. But making your coffee at home is so much better than buying it out, no matter where you buy it from, unless you're going to like a really small privately owned cafe somewhere. But yeah, no harm in this at all. And she's going to add some milk, whether it's half and half or whatever. There's no harm in that either. Yeah.
And then I just splashed some cashew milk in there.
To me, that is more than a splash. Personally, for me, a splash is literally like half a second pour. And sometimes there is like little point in doing that, but that's just how I enjoy coffee and my tea. But yeah, having some cashew milk in some coffee is absolutely no harm in that whatsoever. So it's a pretty good start so far.
Usually I put some creamer, but I have been out for like the last week. I always like to have some sort of cinnamon taste in whatever I'm eating for breakfast, so I just sprinkle.
Oh, that is a lot of sugar, and obviously it is cinnamon sugar, and she says she likes the cinnamon taste. Why not just add cinnamon? Because then you don't get the added sugar. So I suppose if it's her only coffee of the day, it doesn't matter too much because a little bit of sugar never killed anybody. But it's when you're having it consistently, or if you're having multiple cups of cinnamon sugar coffee throughout the day, that is when it can become a bit of an issue. But it is also going to spike her blood sugar, which isn't great in the morning, as we've discussed multiple times. But yeah, if it's just her first coffee and it's her only one, then it's not too much of an issue.
Some cinnamon sugar on top, and I found it just needed a little bit more of a sweet kick, so I added some sugar in the raw. And
so she's added cinnamon sugar and then added more sugar. So I think she is one of those people that say they like coffee, but they don't actually like coffee. They like this Starbucks sugary coffee, so they like the sugar. They don't like the coffee. Yeah, I know it's very, very common to put sugar in coffee and tea and stuff like that, but you don't need it. Especially, you certainly don't need as much sugar as she put in. There's no harm in having a cube of sugar in your coffee or your tea. There's no harm in that whatsoever. But having cinnamon sugar and then just free pouring more sugar in is a bit excessive, in my opinion.
Expected, it was perfect. It tasted amazing.
But I'm glad she liked it.
Then, because I was in a bit of a pinch, I decided to just do some hummus on toast with some turkey bacon and some...
I'm not gonna lie, that looked like a really tasty breakfast. I don't know what this kind of turkey bacon is like. I have no idea. I've never seen it here. But the berries look amazing. They're nice and red. Hummus on toast, again, looks really tasty. And I assume this is some kind of like hot sauce or sriracha or something. So there's not very much at all. So it's just adding some flavour, a really decent amount, in my opinion. The only thing with this would be the amount of hummus, and hummus is really tasty. It's really, really good for you, but this does look like quite a lot of hummus, and hummus is incredibly calorically dense due to it being made from chickpeas and oil. So although it is very tasty and the rest of the meal does look pretty balanced, just be mindful of how much hummus you're using, because it is very, very easy to overeat on. But otherwise, that looks like a really, really tasty, solid breakfast in my opinion.
with some turkey bacon and some strawberries. Hummus on toast is very, very good, by the way. You should definitely give it a shot if you haven't already. And then I had my trio of drinks for the morning, which was apple cider, coffee, and just plain old water.
There's no harm in having some water. And I don't know, is this the apple cider coffee thing she was talking about? Because this looks like a fruit juice. As I said, I don't know what this is, but if it is a fruit juice, the problem with juices like that, like orange juice and apple juice, is that although they are made out of fruits, if you buy the ones that are genuinely made out of fruit, then they've removed all the fibre when they've got the fruit juice. So you've left with just the sugar and very minimal fibre, which isn't great because the fibre is what helps your digestion and what keeps you full. So if you're going to have something like an apple juice or an orange juice, you are much better just eating the fruit on its own, or having a juicer, making the juice, and then eating the fibre as well. So apple juice and orange juice, delicious, not the best thing for you. But as I said, I don't know what she said this was. I think she said it was apple cider coffee or something, so I don't know.
To top it all off, I had some vitamin D and then just zoned out with some Scott Pilgrim for a couple of hours. And in between some dinner plans, I decided to just finish off the pierogies that were in the fridge.
Pierogies are pretty nice, and that wasn't a massive portion, so I have nothing really to say about that. But yeah, they tend to be fried, so they are a bit oily. But she only had 3, so that's not an issue.
Then it was off to meet some friends for dinner that day. I feel like every time I go out with friends lately, I always end up at Swiss Chalet, but we decided to do something a little different and ended up at Fresh. I love this place for one item and one item.
I don't know what this restaurant is, but this looks so calorically dense. I would assume this is sort of like a cheesy kind of sauce, and then you've got the fried stuff on top. That's not very healthy, and obviously she's out with friends, you can't really blame her for that, but this in the background looks much nicer. Obviously it's got fried stuff here, and I assume this is ranch, but it has got lots of greenery as well, so this looks far more balanced, whatever this is, compared to this.
Alone, and that is the buffalo cauliflower. Oh my god, it is so
yeah, that looks tasty. I would probably enjoy something like that.
freaking good. It did not disappoint this time around. It was, so much better than I remember. And then I also tried their dumplings, which was pretty good, but maybe like a little too spicy for me, but still so freaking good. I would definitely get it again. As you can see, I am enjoying myself.
There's nothing inherently wrong with going out to restaurants and stuff, but the only thing to be careful about is you don't know how they're cooking things, you don't know how much oil they're using, you don't know how much cream they're using or adding into sauces, you just don't know these things. And unless you go there and give them specific requests for your food, so you might ask for like a steak with some like grilled or when you steamed veggies on the side. So stuff like that is quite easy. Or if you ask for a salad with the sauce on the side, again, you can control it a bit more then. But just having something that looks deep fried and saucy, you're not going to have any estimation of what is actually inside it and how many calories that you're eating. And if you're not interested in calories and health and whatnot, that's fine. Or if it's just like a one-off thing, once a week, once a month, that's again perfectly fine. But if you're doing it more regularly, every day, every other day, it is something to be careful about, because you can very easily overeat and have a lot of fats and carbs that you weren't necessarily consciously aware of. But yeah, as a one-off, it's not too much of an issue. But still, just be mindful of that.
Also, I want to personally apologize for the fact that you can see my hair constantly going into my mouth. Believe me when I say it annoyed me more than it could ever annoy you. Now for my main, I decided to do something different. I went against all of my...
Oh, were they only starters? Oh, goodness, okay. Yeah, so this is what I was saying. You can't tell what is in this. And I would say this is very, very calorically dense. I wouldn't be surprised if this contains some sort of cream. And so you've got creamy sauces on top of fried chips, which is a big portion of chips as well. This is probably probably 2 potatoes worth of chips. And then you've got deep fried, whatever this is, as well as carbs. I mean, the salady stuff is fantastic, but it could be made better if you're thinking that way. But instead of having chips, you could have a side of grilled veggies instead, which would be much nicer, a lot more colourful, and would probably go better with the meal that she's actually having. But yeah, it looks okay. The chips look a bit sad, but yeah, it's not horrendous. This looks really tasty, whatever this is, some kind of soup with a really big salad and some pita breads by the looks of things. This looks really, really good. So, yeah.
intuition and decided to try the tacos. It was just okay. I mean, definitely.
That also looks really good. Massive portion, but looks really, really tasty. Especially this kind of tomato-y based thing here. And I think there's some like avocado as well there. So yeah, these meals actually look really, really nice. I would be curious if this was a really expensive restaurant.
Not something I would get again. I usually go for the cheeseburger, and I definitely regretted it. And we ended our night just laughing at a bunch of memes, and that was it.
Yeah, so overall her day was pretty good. It was a shame about the cinnamon sugar and then the added sugar in the coffee. But other than that, she seemed to have a really solid day of eating. Yeah, looks really, really tasty. And I'm going to silence this person's video because of the background music. So I don't know if she's talking in it, obviously, but I'll just read what she says on the screen. So at 4:30, she's having fries from McDonald's, and it looks like a large fries because that box is huge. And it's odd that her first thing that she's eating is at 4:30, unless she works night shifts and sleeps during the day. There's no real reason to have your first meal this late unless you're doing something like intermittent fasting, which, not to be mean, but I don't think she's doing. And starting a day again with McDonald's is not the best choice. Expensive, bad for you, just grease and fat. And then what have we got next? McDonald's Nuggets, and that is so many nuggets. Is that what, 12? With ranch, again, more calories and calories and calories and fat. Or she's having McDonald's a burger as well as nuggets. That is a meal for 2 people. And that burger is huge. So it's a quarter pounder with ranch. So she's having more ranch. And that burger is absolutely enormous. So it's got a normal meat patty with some bacon, cheese, and then all the sauces and stuff. That is a humongous meal. And I wonder if she's having all of this food because this is the first thing she's eating, because she hasn't eaten when she woke up, assumingly. Then she's hungry. So when you go and buy food when you're hungry, you tend to make bad decisions or not so great decisions. It's why when you're going grocery shopping, you should always go grocery shopping when you've eaten something beforehand, so you're not hungry in the store. So yeah, it's not the best breakfast at all. And the burgers are already saucy enough, you don't need to add an entire pot of ranch to it as well. She's having water to be healthy. And then she's having fruit snacks at 7:30, and it's not fruit, it's some kind of gummy sweet thing. So even though it says fruit snacks, I would be curious to see actually how much fruit it contained. I would imagine the answer is minimal. I imagine it's just a lot of flavourings and colourings in there instead, and I think that is targeted more towards children because children like sweets, and if you put fruit on there, it kind of tricks them into thinking it's healthy, or tricks the parents, I should say. Yes, not great choices so far. More water is good. Gatorade at work. Oh, so she must work nights because she's going to work at 9:30. So she's having Gatorade at work. If you're working nighttime, you need a lot of energy, and so McDonald's meal before you go to work is probably not the best thing to eat. And I can't imagine, and this is going to sound mean, but I don't believe that she had that McDonald's meal at 4:30, then the little fruit snack bag at 7:30, and then is at work at 9:30 and didn't eat in between. So I don't necessarily believe that she's showing everything that she ate today. So she's having more water at a break. Mole? I don't know what that is, but it looks like rice, some kind of, I don't know, boiled chicken or something. And then maybe some more meats here. I don't know. Can't really make a comment on that because I don't know what it is. It is a lot. Oh no, it's not rice. It's macaroni. I think that looks like macaroni. I don't know what it is, but that is a lot of carbs. Regardless, it's nice to have the protein here, so that's good. It's not the worst meal in the world. Far better than the McDonald's she had earlier. And I suppose if she is working nights as well, she will need to eat something when she gets home. But it wasn't a very long shift, to be fair. So having such a big meal right before she goes to sleep could be a bit disruptive for her digestion and how she sleeps. But obviously I don't know what her sleep pattern and stuff is, so yeah. And she's just showing us her eating it. Capri Sun is basically a pouch of sugar. Milo was too spicy, some more water. Nothing wrong with more water. So she only ate 2 real meals. She had McDonald's and then she had that rice chicken dish, which, if you're going to calculate the calories overall in the day, she probably wasn't at that much just because of she only ate twice. But she could have had much better choices in what she did eat, especially with the McDonald's earlier, because you don't need to eat a portion for 2 adults in one meal. That's just not necessary.
Everything I eat in a day as a fat girl who eats whatever feels right for me. Eated a quick
Fair enough.
breakfast this morning, so cheese and salami tacos it is, with some
I always find it funny when Americans
sweet
have like
habanero Cholula.
that sort of cheese. Obviously we can get it here in the UK as well, but it always just looks so plasticky. You'd be much better off with like a genuine real cheddar. Cheddar cheese is delicious, it's so good. And if you have like a real cheddar with some salami, although the salami isn't the best thing for you because it's processed meat, then it would taste a lot better, even though it's not super healthy. And I don't know what that burrito was in the beginning. I don't know if she ate that later on in the day, or if she just had that in the morning and then didn't say it was breakfast. I don't know. I always find it a bit confusing when they add a clip like that in the very beginning, but then start the day with something else.
For lunch, I got
And also that piece of cheese with 1 slice of salami is not enough for breakfast. It might be high in calories, but it's not going to be enough for breakfast at all. You're much better off having an actual breakfast. So when it comes to lunchtime, you're not tempted to go to a fast food joint and get a massive burrito.
a grilled cheese burrito.
That burrito is huge. It's got some veggies in it because you can see the red cabbage, but it primarily looks like just rice with some cheese. Does it have egg in there? I can't really tell. Doesn't look super appetizing to me, but it wouldn't because I don't like fast food. Again, expensive, not that great for you, and you could probably make a much nicer version at home, but then that takes effort, so. Okay, so she had a Kale's grilled cheese burrito for 610 calories. So she swapped beef for roast chicken, sour cream. She had no sour cream, no fiesta strips, and added pico de gallo and purple cabbage. And 1 nacho fry with cheese. Fair enough. So beef instead of roast chicken instead of beef is better, in my opinion. It's tastier as well. No sour cream and no fiesta strips. I don't know what fiesta strips are, but removing them and the sour cream is going to be much better for the calories. And adding pico de gallo and purple cabbage is also good, adding some veggies in there. But it's still not a super healthy meal. And 610 calories for this is still quite a lot because I don't think it will keep her very full for very long. And for 610 calories, you can have a massive, like enormous meal that would keep you very full for a really long time. Because bulk eating is a really great way to manage hunger and manage the want to actually eat a lot of food while also keeping your calories quite low. But that's personally what I would do instead of having a Taco Bell burrito.
I'm also having this sugar-free pink edition Red Bull.
Fair enough, sugar-free, can't really argue with that.
For dinner, I'm having Korean barbecue meatballs with broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and cabbage.
Not gonna lie, that looks really good. That's a really solid dinner. It looks really tasty. I would definitely have something like that. But I'd probably have less meatballs just because I'm not a big fan of them. But it looks so good. You can make Korean barbecue
Dessert,
potatoes as well. And the Korean style potatoes. Oh, they're so good. But yeah, so dessert is
peanut butter and flaky sea salt, a date with a marshmallow, and a date with butter and flaky sea salt.
Okay, so she's having dates with various toppings. So she's got peanut butter, a marshmallow, and butter, flaky salt and cinnamon. Is that just straight butter? I've never seen somebody eat like a tablespoon of butter just on its own or with a date. I think that's a bit strange, but that's just me and my tastes. Having a marshmallow with a date is also a bit odd because marshmallow sugar and dates are also very, very high in sugar. So I wouldn't be surprised if this small dessert here was 300 calories. I really wouldn't be surprised, and this is not going to fill you up at all. It might be tasty, but it's not going to fill you up or make you feel very satisfied, in my opinion. I know I certainly wouldn't be satisfied with a small dessert like this, or a small something to eat, but that's just me. And I suppose you've got the nutrients and stuff from the dates, so that's really good. It's much better than having like 2 or 3 cookies. So yeah, it's a better choice than it could have been, so I can't really fault her for that. But I probably wouldn't have the marshmallow with the date. I think that's a bit odd. That's not a lot of peanut butter either, to be fair, so yeah, that is just straight butter. Wow. So she had 5 lots of her water as well, which is also really good. So fair enough. They didn't make super, super unhealthy choices. Some of them weren't great, like having McDonald's Nuggets and a McDonald's burger for one meal. That's a bit nuts. But overall, they weren't that bad. And even the restaurant food, like the lady in the actual restaurant, that was pretty good. And having dates for a dessert instead of cookies is also much better. But they're still very, very high in calories. But of course, they're not thinking about that. So it's neither here nor there. But yeah, overall, it wasn't super awful. What do you guys think about what these people had for their days of eating? Would you have something similar? What would you recommend to them for like little small changes that might make them feel more satiated? And let me know if you liked the video or if you didn't like the video down below in the comments. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.